Five Nights at Junior's is terrifying. Junior's is an all-around investigation type FNaF fan game. Each night a select few animatronics become haunted, and then it's your job to weed out which ones are actually haunted and which ones aren't. You gotta search for clues and hints throughout the nights in order to lead you to who is actually possessed. But which animatronics should you pray aren't the ones possessed tonight? That's what we're exploring today. Let's do it. And let me know what animatronic you would like to see in the Junior's style in the comments, because a lot of them aren't in the game. And at 10, Withered Chica. Withered Chica is by far the most damaged of all the Junior's animatronics, which is pretty unfortunate because we all know how I feel about Chica. However, even though this is closer to the FNaF 2 look, it's closer to FNaF 2's Withered Chica with the wide jaw and missing hands. So it's not really the Chica we wanted, but also not the Chica we needed right now. It's just spooky how design will dictate everything about how terrifying or how alluring the characters are. Like, this realistic style really gives you a sense of what the hell we would be up against as Michael in the games, but also the original games have that same realistic style in a sense. I guess maybe this is for like when they lean more into the horror element come FNaF 3 and Fazbear's Fright, I guess. Because from like actual animatronic standards, the originals seem to be more accurate to what would be possible. The Junior's cast mostly seems like they would just be suits worn by people, kind of like Avengers Campus. And by the way, only 16% of people who watch these videos are actually subscribed. You might have watched multiple videos and not know that you aren't subscribed, okay? So check out and see if you are, and if you're not, click subscribe, okay? Hi, I see you, New York. Everyone from New York, click subscribe right now. And at 9, Withered Marionette. Holy sweet baby Jesus, what the actual hell is this monstrosity? In the final act of the game, Marionette's face gets shattered, which leaves cracks all over the faceplate of the animatronic, and honestly, it makes it my sleep paralysis demon. Like, I don't actually get sleep paralysis, but if I did have sleep paralysis, I promise you, this would be the demon that I see in my blind spot. This thing has bloodshot eyes, the cracks reveal a gross underside that is definitely not the fabric of the actual animatronic like we would assume, and honestly, it's just all kinds of wrong. Like, what the actual hell? Why do you think that this is a good idea? If this is supposed to be a Freddy's location with a name based off of Midnight Motorist, why are you putting in animatronics that can scare even my grown, albeit a little bit of a pansy, adult? Why would kids think that these are fun to play with? I've seen kids that are literally scared of puddles and snails, but apparently they're fine with these freaks. And by the way, the snails were normal ones, not immortal ones, so there was no reason to be scared. And at 8, the Mangle. The Mangle from Junior's is nothing like the Mangle from FNaF 2. Trust me. This time around, Mangle is giant, since the ghost haunting the restaurant ended up building Mangle as her final form in a sense. Basically, just a Megazord but animatronic animal, using pieces of the different animatronic endoskeletons to create basically creation from Joy of Creation but FNaF 2 themed, and then during the final act, all of the animatronics actually, I'll let you figure that one out for yourself, because straight up it's absolutely terrifying. And if you have seen someone play it and you've seen the ending through them, or maybe even you've played it for yourself, you'll know why this is just a frickin' monster. However, since it's not in the game for all that long, we're gonna put it up higher on the list, because I got a lot of things to complain about and only so long to do it. And at 7, Balloon Baby. This iteration of Balloon Boy isn't a boy at all. He's actually a baby, hence the name Balloon Baby. This time around though, his face is a lot more doll-like to kind of capture the eerie vibe that Balloon Boy has, and as always, he's holding balloons and has his iconic propeller hat. Can't believe that's iconic at this point. That's how the game extras menu describes him though, but do you want to know how I describe it? Wrong on so many levels. Balloon Boy doesn't have an eerie vibe, okay? He's just a freaking weirdo. The dude looks like he sniffs people's calves after they do their jog. Like, what the hell? He's creepy, but in a perv kind of way, not actually like scary or threatening. I don't get that thing. But even then, okay, turning that into a baby makes it even worse. It's like if Chuck E. Cheese was actually built for Chucky the Killer Doll. Why? What the hell? Okay, whose baby looks like this? Because I'm sorry, because this thing is ugly as hell. I'm just saying. I have yet to see an actually properly cute baby. In at 6, Chica the Chicken. As described by their extras menu, this iteration of Chica is not themed around food, but sleeping. She dons a nightgown, sleeping cap, and her cupcake has a binky. How adorable. I'm sorry, adorable? Look at this damn thing. Chica was my main girl, now you've desecrated her like a freaking monster. This is goddamn terrifying. And then you made her themed for sleeping, but still give her a cupcake? Why? What is she gonna, like what? Is she gonna be the daycare attendant when this world opens its own deranged form of the Pizzaplex? I mean, don't get me wrong, I hate Mazercise just as much as the next guy, but I don't want my girl to be sleeping when all the fun things we can do require being awake. And just look at her! How could you do this to my dummy thick mommy princess? What the hell, man? Juniors? Ain't no way there's gonna be a Junior Connor running around if that's what Chica looks like. Jesus! Halfway through into number 5, Withered Freddy. While the Withered Freddy from the original series has a questionable backstory, like what caused them to be so withered if they're just not being used, in Juniors, the final act sees Freddy being torn to shreds, leaving him with only one eye and a massive scar down the right side of his face. So at least we know how he ended up withered instead of just having to assume that over time, without being used at all, normal Withered Freddy just kind of wore down, which in reality, now that I'm thinking about it, doesn't really make sense. But this one explains it, so you know what, I like this version better. Story-wise, at least, because in reality, this thing looks absolutely terrifying and is probably going to make me cry, and then wake up 3 times throughout the night because I'm scared, instead of Glamrock Chica, who would wake me up for other reasons. Which is why I find it ironic that this version of Chica is themed for sleep. Anyway, back to Freddy. It's just off-putting, man, okay? He looks like he's smirking, he looks like he's giving you the me eyes, but instead it's like the F you without asking eyes, okay? You know what I mean. It's just overall creepy as hell, and I don't like it. In at 4, Withered Balloon Baby. If you thought normal Balloon Baby was bad because he wanted to sniff your crack after a 15-hour movie marathon, Withered Balloon Baby wants to do that, but also wants to fill your crack up with, well, you get the idea. This man wants the term your crack to be a little more than just your cheek separation. He's the kind of person that after that 15-hour movie marathon with no bathroom breaks is gonna start doing lines off the sweatiest parts of your body, starting with the good old sweaty swamp, and then after that's been looted of all the good gear, the boys are dropping at Lint Lake, and then, well, you get the idea. It goes on after that. And then, once he's finally done, and then he's had the other half of his porcelain face destroyed by Satan's snow, you'll finally be able to use the bathroom. But he won't be letting you go alone, okay? That's the kind of creep that this thing is. And the reason I compared him to Chucky is because he's possessed by an adult serial killer in that movie, and I feel like this monstrosity would be as well. Plus, it makes it a little less creepy, in the eyes of the jury. Who's watching this video right now. Hi guys. Not guilty, by the way. Getting close to the end of number 3, the Marionette. What in the absolute holy love of Satan and his benevolent disciples is going on with this version of the puppet, okay? Holy crap. It's one of the creepiest things that I think I've ever seen when it comes to the puppet, okay? Even beating out the goddamn Reaper puppet and even Withered Marionette from this game. And if you've been a fan of this channel for a while now, probably around 3 years in fact, you'll know how I feel about the Reaper puppet. This version of the puppet is supposed to be more of a ragdoll-like thing with a lengthy body and spindly appendages. She, yes, the game actually calls the puppet she, also has been given ears and a nose to add on to the creepy look. And you know what, I'm sorry to say this, but you shouldn't have added ears and a nose to this damn thing, because now all I can see is Curious George being absolutely coked out of his goddamn mind, being a little too curious about what my insides look like. You know what I'm saying? This is basically just like a monkey now, and honestly, that's terrifying. Okay, I'm expecting it to start throwing its shit at me and then stealing my wallet, or at least I tell my wife that it was a monkey that stole my wallet so she doesn't end up buying a gun and keeping it under the pillow. And you know what? If you got that reference, we can be best friends. But ultimately, in at number 2, Withered Foxy. Just like with the rest of the Withered animatronics, Foxy was destroyed in the final act of the game. But in this chaos, he ended up losing his right ear. And the game makes it clear that his damage is actually the least noticeable since he was already damaged to begin with. And honestly, while the visual difference may not be that different, the way I relate to not changing much after being even more damaged is so much that it's scary. Yes, it's confirmed, I am Junior's Withered Foxy. My damage control shampoo is not helping, I'm still broken on the inside, but I was already broken before, so it's not as noticeable, and I wish that was a joke. But seriously, when I tell you that the past few years have been insane, I am not kidding. And that single line in the extras menu of his appearance is the least noticeable, as Foxy was withered to begin with, hit so close to home that it was terrifying, but also kind of uplifting in a way, at least if I look at it through the lens of I'm strong enough now that what would have broken someone else was hardly noticeable on me, and not the whole you're so damaged that people can't even tell when it gets worse kind of way. But you know what, that's why I have Blade and Sorcery to channel that frustration. Better than real people. Or at least that's what the lawyer said. And finally, in at number 1, the Ghost. The Ghost is the main antagonist of Junior's, and while I guess technically they're not an animatronic, they're the one responsible for everything that's happening. So in a way, they're all the animatronics. And plus, as I said, they end up becoming Mangle in the end, so I'm gonna count it. Basically, the Ghost is meant to be the vengeful spirit from Ultimate Custom Night. The Ghost seems to have a very strong connection to Paul Bear and wants to erase him during the final act of the game, and as to whether she is able to accomplish this goal or not is up to you to find out, motherfucker. Yeah, I've already talked about the final act and how it damaged the animatronics, but I'm not going to spoil literally the ending of the game for you. The main difference I see here, however, is that in Ultimate Custom Night, the one referred to as the one you should not have killed is meant to be Crying Child, but whether the vengeful spirit is the same as the one you should not have killed or not is a whole other question. Here, the Ghost is in it for themselves, for their own sense of justice, but if the one you should not have killed and the vengeful spirit are the same, then this couldn't be the same character, just the same concept. And yes, I said that because I know it's gonna make a decent amount of you mad, and I just find that funny. That's all the time we have for today, though, friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Showerman Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video, unless I actually get broken this time.